Welcome to this introduction on the binomial distribution. In the world of statistics and probability, this is one of the most fundamental concepts you will encounter. It is the mathematical framework we use to count successes when we repeat an experiment multiple times. Whether you are flipping coins, testing products for defects, or looking at medical trial results, the binomial distribution helps us calculate the likelihood of a specific number of successful outcomes. To understand the binomial distribution, we first need to understand its building block, the Bernoulli trial. This is simply a random experiment that has exactly two possible outcomes. We typically label these outcomes as success and failure. Success is just the outcome we are interested in counting, and failure is everything else. A classic example is flipping a single coin, where heads could be success and tails failure. So, what happens when we don't just stop at one trial? What if we repeat that same Bernoulli trial over and over again? For example, flipping that coin 10 times or 20 times. When we repeat a Bernoulli trial a fixed number of times, which we call n, we move from a simple Bernoulli process to a binomial experiment. We are now interested in the total count of successes across all those trials. Not every repeated experiment is binomial. To qualify, it must satisfy four specific conditions, often remembered by the acronym B.I.N.S. B stands for binary outcomes. There must be only two results. I stands for independent trials. The result of one trial cannot influence the next. N means the number of trials is fixed in advance. And S stands for same probability. The chance of success must remain constant for every single trial. In any binomial problem, you will need to identify two key parameters. The first is n, which represents the total number of trials or experiments you are performing. The second is p, which is the probability of success for a single trial. We also use the variable x to represent the random variable, which is simply the actual number of successes we end up observing, ranging from 0 up to n. Let's visualize this with a probability tree for 3 trials. Here, we start at the left and branch out. Each split represents a trial resulting in success or failure. By the time we reach the end on the right, we have listed every possible sequence of outcomes. Some paths result in 3 successes, some in 2, some in 1, and one path results in 0 successes. The binomial distribution gives us a shortcut to calculate the probabilities of these end results without drawing this massive tree every time. This is the formula that does the heavy lifting. The probability of getting exactly k successes is equal to n choose k, multiplied by p raised to the power of k, multiplied by 1 minus p raised to the power of n minus k. It might look intimidating at first, but it is actually just 3 parts working together. A counter for the arrangements, the probability of the successes, and the probability of the failures. Let's break it down. The first part is the combination. Read as n choose k. This calculates how many different ways we can arrange the successes. For example, if we want exactly 2 heads in 3 flips, they could occur as heads heads tails, heads tails heads, or tails heads heads. This part of the formula counts those 3 scenarios for us automatically. The second part deals with the raw probabilities of a specific sequence. P to the power of k is the probability of getting the successes we want. The term 1 minus p is simply the probability of failure, and we raise it to the power of n minus k because that is how many failures we must have left over. We multiply these together to get the probability of one specific path, like heads heads tails. Let's apply this to a real example. Suppose we flip a fair coin 3 times, so n is 3. We want to find the probability of getting exactly 2 heads, so k is 2. The probability of heads, p, is 0.5. First, we calculate 3 choose 2, which is 3. Then we multiply the probabilities. 0.5 squared times 0.5 to the power of 1. Multiplying it all together gives us 0.375, or 37.5%. If we calculate this probability for every possible number of successes, from 0 up to n, we can plot the binomial distribution. Here is what it looks like for 10 trials with a 50-50 chance. You can see it is symmetric and peaks in the middle. The most likely outcome is the average, or mean, but there is a spread of other possible outcomes around it. To summarize, the binomial distribution is your tool for counting successes in a fixed number of independent trials. Remember the conditions: binary outcomes, independent trials, fixed number, and same probability. And remember the logic of the formula. It combines the number of ways an event can happen with the probability of that specific sequence occurring. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.